Horse training has always been a big business in Tennessee. Our equine industry is the 6th largest in the nation. What you might not know is people come from around the world to get training time with a woman over in Woodbury. As Laura Faber tells us, she trains horses and drivers in a most unique sport.
In the heart of Woodbury, Tennessee, on a 135-acre farm, is where you can find an internationally acclaimed driving center. But it has nothing to do with automobiles and everything to do with horses and an equestrian sport called carriage driving. Since 1987, Valhalla Farm has been home to Elizabeth Keathley and her family. Keathley is world-renowned in the horse world.
I'm very lucky. It's a passion. It's a passion that I guess has grown into my gift.
Elizabeth Keathley is a professional trainer for carriage horses and their drivers. All she ever wanted to be was the horse girl.
I went to Middle Tennessee State University. I entered into the horse science program, but to be 100% honest, school was very difficult for me. And I remember coming back home one afternoon and I asked my parents and begged and pleaded with my parents actually, if I could just make it in the horse world, that I would do everything I could.
Go Elizabeth!
I used to be a rider. I did the hunter jumpers and I loved it. The horse is actually just what's always kept me going. So I have been going ever since. There we go.
On this day, Elizabeth is working with 2 clients, getting ready to compete in the Middle Tennessee Carriage Driving Club Derby. Brenda Rocker is from College Grove and competes with the stunning 15-year-old Morgan named Bunny, the perfect age for a carriage pony. Carol Grimsley of Chattanooga drives a pair of Welsh ponies named Max and Lucas.
She's wonderful with horses, but she's better with me than anyone I've ever worked with.
She's been training with Elizabeth for 5 years. This form of driving takes tremendous skill and strength. The horses are absolutely athletes.
With a good driving horse, you want a good brain. You want a good heart. It doesn't have to be the fanciest horse.
Elizabeth is getting Brenda and Bunny ready to compete in the pleasure ring. Carol and her ponies are training for a driving event. There are 3 phases in combined driving: dressage, cross-country marathon, and an obstacle cone course. This sport is similar to figure skating in that it's all about form and style.
Good boy!
And sometimes speed.
A marathon course is similar to roads and tracks. So we have a particular distance that we have to do, and it's all timed. So you get penalized if you come in too early and you get penalized if you come in too late. So there's an actual time window that you want to come into. And then some of your bigger shows, you'll have like a section A, and then you'll have a walk section, and then you'll have section B, and that's where the obstacles come into play. So not only do we have our overall time that we have to finish, but then we have our obstacles. You do not have to make the turn. I enjoy the training aspect, but I really love going to the show to see how my training's working out, because going to a horse show, you'll find out your flaws.
Elizabeth is no stranger to competition herself. Carriage driving, an internationally recognized equestrian sport since 1970, basically changed her life. Rows and rows of ribbons in her carriage house speak volumes about how successful she was. But it was one horse and one cone competition that made her a national champion.
I've had my mare bred when I've raised a couple of babies, and I've been very lucky. I have a pony in the barn, Rolling Woods Bay Knot, that I have taken as a foal all the way to the advanced level. There's nothing more rewarding. That particular pony was in my pair, and we made the Reserve National Championship with a pony that I raised. That's the passion.
Everything about this sport is special, from the connection between driver and horse, the costumes worn in competition, to the carriages themselves. In Elizabeth's 30-year career of competitive carriage driving, she has accumulated a museum's worth of carriages. In fact, this one was the very first carriage she competed in 1991. Elizabeth's dad also competed. He used to use this carriage from 1890, a Hackney show cart. What made Elizabeth a fierce competitor has also made her a world-class horse and driver trainer in an industry dominated by men. She has an extraordinary ability to connect with these animals.
Every horse will teach you. I'm shy by nature, and the horses, they can speak to you if you just kind of stop and listen. And I felt like I understood the horse because they speak to you in different ways.
Whatever language Elizabeth and her horses speak, it's working. Both of her clients, Brenda and Carol, went on to have a successful competition after their training with Elizabeth. Brenda and Bunny placed third in their event. Carol and her ponies, Max and Lucas, won their class and were named overall preliminary champion.
I have no plans to retire. I absolutely love what I do. I'm loving right now taking care of my students and their horses. This is something that I wanted. This is something that I picked. I worked hard for. This is what I do. This is all I know. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Okay. Just a girl with a gift. Elizabeth Keathley is the horse girl.